All right, everybody. So let's get started. And we had finished last time, well, further down, but we still have the hieratic to catch on, starting from Acha and Isit or Isit. So let's go quickly through that. I'll just take a start on that. Acha and Isit, nothing new here. Ash Segab. And there's Chris. Hi, good morning.
Morning.
Glad you made it. Plural strokes and end. We were just going for the hieratic of the long sentence that Ralph, I think, had last time that we hadn't done the hieratic on yet. So plural strokes and pa bird with the wings back here, little aleph squeezed in the middle, double reed leaf, ST, that funky sign for copper, Summit. Determinative stroke. This here looks like an A1 man, but I think it makes sense to interpret that as a circle, simply because of the word copper. Jed, Sechef, I guess. Or is it Sefech? I think it's Sefech. Does anybody remember how the transcription
It's Sefech, but it's written. It's just this is the way it's
written backwards.
transposed.
Right,
Yes.
right. So it's Sefech.
Like hefty, I think, is written that way too.
Yeah.
Right. That's right. And that funky big double loop with a tiny little like arm with stick underneath. Emuff. It's all normal. Maybe for the MIG, behold, point out that that's here ligature of the ein hand and the K. I think that's fairly common. Yeah, double stroke here, followed by the smaller cursive form of the Y1 book roll. We've seen that a few times before. I think we talked the last time quite a bit about how to write Zen and Zenet. I'm not going to go into that again, although it's still a little bit of an open question what the stroke order really was on that. But basically, I think by now we all have that internalized that that's Zen, at least at this time period. B1 woman, so A1 man with a stroke, and the short form of mu of the mother or the vulture. Let's see, what else can I say here? I would have interpreted that as an egg underneath, honestly. But no, you're right. It could be a B1 woman with a stroke here. You're right. That makes more sense.
It's got the stroke there on it. Yeah, it's like the little tiny A1 that's just a C with a curly Q for the feet, and then there's a stroke for the hair. And the T is ligatured with like the feet of the vulture.
Oh, you're right. Yes. Of course, you're right. No, that makes perfect sense. So that is the vulture with a T just like ligatured into it, and then this has to be the woman. You're right. Okay, great point. So which mother of Isis, basically, not the mother of Isis, but the maternal brother of Isis?
Which maternal?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, although it says sister, apparently.
Yeah, kind of weird, isn't it? Oh, wait, was it?
Yeah. Well, Gardner has a sick on the B1 because it should be brother, so it should be an A1, not a B1, I think.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Dr. Sen.
Let's see. Isis or Iset, bird on a stick, pa, dip. Yep. Dip. This thing here is funky, isn't it? Have we covered that? For the tongue determinative that looks like this?
We have, but I feel like it looks different every time.
There's another one on line 4.
Okay, let me go there.
We want to compare them.
Let's do
it.
Why
Down
don't
one.
you see it?
Down the line.
Oh, because I don't know how to count my lines. You're right. Here, yeah, it looks exactly the same. You're right.
There it is.
I mean, it's just not at all what you would expect from the hieroglyphic form, right? That it looks like this, but at least he's consistent.
Hi, Rebecca.
Hi.
Hey, you made it. You abandoned your children.
Yeah.
Oh
wow.
Look.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
you are at the beach actually.
Yeah, I am.
Wow, that's dedication. Cool.
Right, I'm looking forward to this. Sorry, you carry on.
Okay, sounds good. Well, we were just going through, and by the way, am I recording? I believe I am. Okay, never
Yes,
mind.
you are.
Thank you, sir. So we were just going through the hieratic to see if there's anything that stuns us. So far, no stunning moments. Just again that the little tongue thingy at the end of depth to taste or to bite into, that it really doesn't look like what you'd expect from the hieroglyphic version. But well, that's what it is. A2 man, a vertical K. I think this is not a break in the papyrus like over here, but that's really the downstroke of the K. The basket.
Yes, that's correct. That's the basket.
Right.
The loop of the basket is very faint, and then it looks like they redipped or something for the downstroke of the K. I don't know. It's weird.
Ralph, I missed that. Go again.
Oh, sorry. I was just saying that it like the downstroke on the K is very dark compared to the A1 and the basket or the handle, depending on how you think they're drawing the basket. But
you're right, and then the next reed leaf is as well. So I wonder if you dipped
so
here.
I wonder if they went back and redid the downstroke on the K.
I think so. Yep, probably. That's right. Imhoff in it. So what was the sentence again? So Isis cried.
Isis, us, and yeah, she called out to her her harpoon, her copper, saying, "Release him, being in my maternal." Maternal brother of Isis that you've bitten into him.
Right. It's really a nominal sentence. It's the maternal brother of Isis, in other words, my brother, that you have sunk your teeth into, so to say.
Right.
Okay. Did we cover this part?
Yeah.
Aurelio.
Yeah.
Aurelio.
Yes, sir.
Hello. I'm sorry. I have a quick question.
Yes, sir.
Going back to, because this is killing me, and I've noticed it's popping up a lot. So I'm used to saying when I see pop, of course, and something after it would definitely be a noun, but it could be nominal in the sense that it could be a verb here though in late Egyptian, right?
You mean the mic or
No, the pa depet.
oh, this one here.
So this is a verb, right? I mean, I know it's a verb, but it's behaving nominally, right?
Oh, that's interesting. So what is that? I thought that was a relative, actually. So whatever comes here has to be something nominal, to your point, because there's a pa in front of it.
Well, yeah, I was saying because normally in Middle Egyptian, when you have an article, normally the thing that follows it is normally a substantive, right? It's normally a noun, right? So what I'm noticing in late Egyptian, I've seen it before where they'll have, I mean, yeah, it could be a relative, but relatives and participles can have like these noun type characteristics too, right? They can behave as nouns in some sense, right?
Right.
So what I'm asking is, could you kind of maybe quickly just like, I know we haven't gotten to it yet in the verb, but could you kind of speak on that a little bit about verbs or relatives or participles following particles like that?
I can try. So the nice thing is that the participle and the relative very often actually have like this little so-called pathetic yacht in front of it. So it would be, hang on, let me try to get some text functionality here. And anybody else who wants to chime in, by all means, please do, because...
See, look, there it is. Okay, I'm sorry, go ahead. I just saw it again. It's like it's all over the place.
So if you have like epit to taste or to bite, or pet, I should say, what would happen is there would be like a little reed leaf in front of it. Actually, the way it would be spelled would be, let me get if I can get the Egyptian keyboard working. Oops. This is how you normally spell it. Like reed leaf plus a little man pointing to his mouth. The thing is, when you put, so that's first of all, that's what you use for the participles and for the relatives. It's not always there, but it's often there, which is very helpful to earlier forms of the language. What's the difference between a participle and a relative? A relative has a different subject. So it would become pa ipedek, I guess, that you have bitten. If it was the person who has bitten or something, you wouldn't put the subject behind it because it's the same as the noun it refers to. Now, what you can do a lot in Late Egyptian is stick an article in front of it, and then this here goes away, presumably because there's already a vowel there from the article, and it becomes basically something like the one that you have bitten.
Got you.
Or something. So that's used quite a bit, actually. That's as much as I can say.
That helps.
If anybody else has more on it, please chime in.
That's perfect.
All right, cool. Then I'll leave it at that one. Very versatile. Coptic also loves to do these, like all those often, I think, however, with a relative pronoun like pet, the one who something, 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 and then comes a verb. You'll see that a lot. So that becomes, once you get to Coptic, that becomes like, oh yeah, that's second nature. That's just how you do it. And you're right, it behaves like a noun. So the frère utérin, the maternal brother, is the one that you've tasted. Okie doke.
Cool.
All right. Shall we go on? I see nodding. Very good. If you guys don't mind, I'll just go through the hieratic because, I mean, there's really not when in this really nice ligature that he has for when, which is fairly typical. When in ha, again, the copper, chemet, same as in the line before, the sefech, emaf. So I think nothing new here. We've covered all that. Another when in, a little bit broken, but you know what it should look like. This here is that common hieroglyph for way, which just looks that way. So something like, wait, I think we need free form. Let's see. So something like this.
Well, in this case, this is for Heru, right? In this case?
That's right. In this case, however, it's for Horus. It's not the way or something, which would need an extra T and a determinative stroke or something, but that's not what it is. It's exactly for Horus. So Horus, the son of Isis. And for some reason, Isis is in red. Who knows? So in any case, he became really angry, Chen, because his mother did that, because she basically protected Seth that he's fighting with, right? So what do we have here? So Isis is squiggled into the margin here.
Yeah, it's like it's a correction, I guess.
I think
don't know why it's in red, but
yeah, the sun otherwise is too ambiguous, right? So he put Isis in there. I cannot see the cobra. You sort of know it's there. I don't see it. I mean, with a lot of
barely see any of it.
right.
Yeah.
And it's
You sort of know
faint.
so it has to be. So then Horus, the son of Isis, Chunt, that's that vertical Q that I like so much in Ramesside Egyptian. It just looks so much nicer. A DT ligature, and then just a random stroke for whatever reason. In any case, he became very angry. R, against whom? Against, let's go on. Against his mother, of course, right? Because she didn't do what he wanted in this case. So Mutef, his mother, this is a T, this is a W, this is a very long F because we can. Which mother? Mother Isis. T ligatured with the egg. Divine, of course, so bird on a stick. UF pair, the pair, I should point out.
That is a sloppy pear.
That's a sloppy pear. It should look something like this, but then he almost ligatures that with the R.
Yeah.
It's just what it is, but yeah, it makes it a bit hard to read.
Yeah.
So
normally the pears are often very tall and narrow like that, but usually they have straight sides, and this one's curving into the T or the R.
It almost looks like something Aramaic, right? Some kind of aleph or something. I don't know. Showing that I don't know Aramaic. But yeah, it doesn't look like what it's supposed to look like. I think this should be an infinitive here, I guess. What is this? Peri. UF Peri. At least that would have been my guess. Let's cheat real quick.
It has to be the infinitive after EU, doesn't it? Or
You would think. I mean, what else should it be? It could be a stative. That would be the other option.
before
So
that.
let's cheat here really quick.
Not subjunctive, is it?
There it is.
Oh no, it wouldn't be a subjunctive tense. It would be
Yep.
It would make
Infinitive.
sense.
Yeah,
that's
not
infinitive.
after UF. Not in Lady Jane.
so
They think it's an
it's
infinitive.
the first present.
Yeah, it's first present. Then he
First
basically
present.
he came out of the water, namely, where since they had been having a contest who can stay underwater the longest, as gods do. So UF Kirperi should be Pirit, but you spell it with a W, with a double Y at the end because, well, it's not a T anymore. So UF Kirperi evol out from evol. This here's N with double strokes. Oh, this is still evol. It's just a long way how to spell it. You heard this heard is interesting. But I think we've seen something like this before.
Yeah,
So
I kind of have to take Gardner's word for that hair.
right. So that's his face in this case. Cheref. It still gets the suffix pronoun because it's one of those words that still can. Instead of saying paif, you can say cheref. Instead of paif, cheref.
Because it's a body part, yeah.
Right. Resau, that was what? Ferocious, right? The ch, it's kind of hard to read because the F blends into it, but otherwise you can see that that's what it is. Then the sa, which looks a little bit like a backwards reed leaf. The sa, u, the W is full form. Angry like what? Angry me. And then came the southern leopard, right? Leopard? Panther?
The Upper Egyptian panther.
Thank you. Let's be precise about that. This one we haven't seen before, I think. This version of... Honestly, what is the first consonant on this thing? I keep forgetting.
It's an A. Aleph.
Aleph?
Abed.
So it's Abi, really. Huh. Okay. I think we're...
Ramses Online has it as an Aleph. I think TLA has it as an I.
Okay, so then it is a... Let's look it up real quick.
Yeah, I've seen it both ways. It could be Iabet or Abet for east. East. Is it east?
Let's make it simple. There was a... When you said it and I forgot again. Panther or leopard?
A panther.
Panther.
A panther.
Thank you. Oops. That's interesting. That's surprisingly little. Just going to try the other. Nope, even less. What's going on here? Oh, wrong field. That's the problem. They like it better. So yeah, here it's with an Aleph.
Is anyone else confused that the Upper Egyptian panther is written with the sign for east?
Yeah, that's what I was just
Yes.
saying. It's
Okay. I guess it's just Ab or Yab, but
Isn't that it?
yeah, but the glyph that's a different glyph though. That's just Ab.
You're right. It is just Ab. Ab or Mud, but in this case, Ab. I think that's the sentence we just looked
I
at.
think Alan has them as same symbol, just different variants.
Who has the same symbol?
Alan.
Alan.
So Iabet can be replaced with the Ab. I know Iabet is like a standard, like a spear with I guess some feathers coming out the side of it, whatever. But so that is they're the same, they're interchangeable. I didn't know that. Let's see.
I think what may be going on here is really that it's just a vocalic onset. I'm guessing, maybe. But yeah, you're right. I never noticed that. You can use both signs to write this word. That's interesting. Huh. That's something. Because, yep, that seems to be the traditional spelling.
Mm.
Interesting, isn't it?
Wow, thing to note. Wow.
Let's look at a few more spellings without the southern, the southern part to it.
Yeah, and Lesko has it as both Yob and Ob.
Then that's what it is, it seems. Huh.
So Obby for the leopard, but Eob for east.
Hmm. Cool. So apparently you can do both. I mean, when you think about it, we have that kind of stuff too, right? Like, for example, I don't know, bow with OUGH or OW, or night with light with ITE or GHT. I guess it's something like that. But yeah, tons of abus here. Oh, look at that. So apparently you can do both. That must tell you something about the pronunciation of those two.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool.
Interesting.
What else? So Iyabi or Abi, who knows? Now I'm a little confused, to be honest.
Are we missing a glyph there?
I think we're missing an ud, isn't it? Because I mean, here's the bee, here's the double reed leaf, here's the flying squirrel.
Flying squirrel.
Then the horizontal plural strokes. Then there's something. On the other hand, this is also really funky. Well,
can we look up the sedge, the flowering sedge?
Look up what?
Both of those, right? Can we look up the flowering sedge in Murder?
Yep, let's do that. Before we do that, though, let me take a quick look at. Interesting. So they don't see
anything.
Extra...
Yeah, Gardner doesn't have anything extra there either.
Maybe that's the way how you write that thing. Do you happen to remember the res glyph, what it is in glyph codes? I don't. Oh wait, I have a trick for that. Let me quickly look at that. I love this table. Shouldn't it be this one? M26. There we go. That was easy. Oh, look at that. So Old Kingdom. So they like minimalistic, or minimalist. And then New Kingdom, it gets something extra. 18th Dynasty, 19th. Wow. So that's what this is. So when you see an ud followed by a stick, it's actually not an ud, it's not a stick, it's actually a 19th dynasty or maybe late 18th dynasty.
Right. But the squiggle and the stick aren't even connected in this one.
Right. Yeah. Pretty wild.
That's wild.
But I mean, this is quite close, huh? From Sethos here, Sethos? Second. That looks the closest to what we've seen before. Oh, okay. Very interesting. So we had it right.
So there's two signs.
Yeah. Even though it doesn't look like it, but it makes sense. I mean, that's a set expression. We also have it in the, what's it called? We also have that in the two brothers, because the brother there also gets very angry and they use the same term. Would have to look up how it's written, but I know it has the same combination. Okay. So being... No. Oh, no, being, yes. Being his knife. That's the ligature for ta. Taif chesek. Chesek, the funky thing for knife. Daret, or I guess, huh? I mean, Dore in Coptic.
In his hand.
in his hand of what? Of 16 Deben, of Metsu or something Deben. N Deben, I should say.
Right. This is the N.
That's the N.
And this is the Deb ligature with the N. That's the Deb in altogether. All three sides.
But apparently the stone is in there. This is new to me.
Yeah, the stone I think is the second half.
Kind of cool.
The first half is the Deb in, and then the N's kind of on the bottom.
I guess that's the end then here, huh? Is it? I mean, the binding over normally is meaningless. That's just a way how to elegantly go from sign A to say sign B. So I would take that to be this here,
Maybe that's the end?
That's the end, yeah, I think so. And then this is just the stone, I think. Can we firm that up? Sorry guys, we're spending more time on the hieratic than I thought we would. But maybe it's worth it. Nope, that doesn't exist. That would have been too easy. Eben, where are you? Somewhere under plants for some reason, I think. Nope. Nope. No, up here. My bad. So I guess F46?
Yes, F46.
And let's look for ligatures. So what should it look like by itself? This weird thing. Or like that. Okay. So almost like a bit like an R with an extra stroke. Let's see.
So that's why I think the N is the last stroke, because there's three squiggles before the curve around to the stone.
Yeah.
And there's only two squiggles to write the dead part.
I think that makes sense now, doesn't it? Okay.
Yeah.
Okie doke. Let's quickly zoom to the end of the line. UF Rui, namely remove, Rui, Cha-cha, the head. That's just a way how to write the head N. And for some reason there is a bird on a stick after, which we last time said is probably just a little bit going down a little bit too far. Mut, not any Mut, but Mutaf, his mother, Isis or Ise, UF, Ditef, Keniu, he put it into his embrace, basically. UF and he, what does he do? This here is weird. Huh. Okay. What? No, we're still in the embrace here. What am I doing? That's the embrace glyph? Also wild, huh? I guess I'll just accept that for the moment. UF Ches Pa Dao or whatever. Very long mountain over here and has a stone to it, like the mountain often does. So he raised himself up, or he I guess alighted on the mountain. Yeah, and that's where we left it last time. So now that you've been listening to me for rambling for 30 minutes, let's have somebody else take over, whoever wants to have the next sentence. Volunteers first.
Yes, I can go. Oh. Go ahead.
Yeah, of course.
All right. So when you set her irt haper e s yes m1 repeat, which I think is a statue. in Jess. Okay. So after the head's been cut off and Horus has run up the hill with it, then Isis, so winning, changing subject to Isis, she was upon making her shape. So you're doing or baking. Kepper is shape or form, and then we have a suffix pronoun s. So her shape or form. M, adverbial M as one or a of Repete is, I think, a statue in Jess of stone. So she makes herself into some kind of statue now that her head's been cut off. Iu nen wen nu m dis s jaja. And so this is so it's circumstantial negated existence sentence, I guess. So under the so she's turned herself into a statue in the circumstance that there doesn't exist
the Wendy is the tricky part. The MDs is the tricky part.
The MD is the tricky part. Oh, that's the preposition or whatever.
It is.
So there doesn't exist with her a head.
That's right.
So she turns herself into a statue of stone, that statue not having a head.
That's right. So you can see how that becomes the circumstantial in Coptic, not having a head, basically, namely the statue, which is a feminine noun. That's why it is an S. What does this become in Coptic? Wintum dis.
It's war or something like that, isn't it?
I was hoping you could give me the answer because I'm not completely sure on the spelling. But it's just the normal verb for to have. Wintaf, wintas, like the there was with her, basically. I'm not sure I should attempt that.
Yeah, sorry, it's been too long since I read Coptic.
No worries. Let me quickly look that up. To have in Coptic. If that's without Coptic keyboard goes better. Works better. Hope they have it. A lot of words. Does it have the one I want?
Nope.
Everything with have, but not to the one I wanted. Okay, never. Oh, you know what? Johnny to the rescue. That should work. Because this is kind of one of those cool features in late Egyptian. You can already see what it becomes later. Win. No win. No win. That's annoying.
Is that it at the top of the page right there? Right. Yeah. Windu MD is right. Yeah, right there at the top.
This one. Oh yeah, right. Thank you. There it is. Exactly. That's exactly it. So wintig, to have in Coptic, and that's just like when to be with somebody, and then you can stick the suffix pronoun or a noun after it. So that's exactly that very common Coptic pseudo verb. We see it here in live and in color. I just want to point that out.
Neat.
So here we go. Otherwise, the sentence translation was perfect. I'm not sure anything we need to say about the grammar. Not really, right? I mean, you had it.
I mean, do you understand the why after Kepri? Like what's this reed leaf doing? Is that making it a noun? Is it?
I guess, huh? I guess so. What is form in late Egyptian? Should that have some kind of suffix? great. Not there at all.
Yeah.
Only Capri the god. That doesn't help. I just know that he's done that before, like very early on when she changed her form before into a young girl. It also had the extra eye, but what that
it's right
is,
there.
okay, not
I
sure.
don't really know.
Okay, so into a statue of. I saw some translators give that as Flintstone. I'm not sure if that's a particular stone, but some kind of stone. Not having a head. Okay, great. Shall we go on?
Yes.
Who wants the next one?
Yeah, I'll go.
Okay. Adios.
So we have Ahapa, Ra, Ra Heru, Acheti.
Yeah, what do you make when you have those two together? Heru and Acheti.
Acheti. Her, Jed, Ni, Jehuti.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have Ichta, Neti, Ii, Ti.
Mm-hmm.
And there's an end of new sentence. Nin, Win, M, Jeset. Oh, the same form we just had before. Jeset, Jaja.
Yep, almost. This here is MD. That's a lady.
Oh, sorry, MD. What we saw earlier. Yes, MD. Did we see that earlier?
The meaning is with originally, to be. So MD would be with, MDs would be with her.
Okay, with her.
Okay.
Right, MD, Jaja. All right, so where are we at?
Okay, and you had already broken that down correctly. Just isolating the different parts of the sentence. Okay, very good.
All right, so we have then. Okay, so I want to say then. So we have Ra and Heru. So okay, yeah, then Ra. Then the Ra Hurachti.
That's right.
Speaking to or spoke to Jehuti.
Mm-hmm.
I'm tempted to say from like Middle Egyptian while or in the process of speaking, but that's not what it is. So this is the first president again. Speaking to Jehuti. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So ich normally is it the same way? Start a question, or is he asking a question? Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
This neti is killing me. Let's see, neti eet. That returning ones. Neti neti.
Sorry, I forgot something. Neti.
It's Neti.
Neti.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, you're right. Oops.
The one who returns, something like that. Is that the one which returns, or the one which comes?
The one which comes, I think. Yeah, that's right. The one which comes. And not just any one which comes, but the one which comes. And then this here, actually, I shouldn't have put a stroke in between because the sentence continues. My bad. So forget this thingy here. I can't make it go away, but just ignore the line in between. That belongs to what comes after belongs to the ta neti et.
The one that comes you no comes.
Yeah, what do you make out of the next? Oh, oh yeah, you're right. There's a U here. I completely missed that. You're right. Why does this not let me write? Okay, so there is a U. Let's do this again. So you had ich,
Da,
neti,
E,
T, or maybe T, however you want to spell it. Yeah. And then you had correctly. I missed that. You, and then?
U. Let's see, we have Nin, Win, and then that was Medes.
MD.
Medi, excuse me. Medesi. Set, Jaja.
And the Sid, I mean, honestly, it's probably not pronounced. It's probably just MD or something, and then Jaja. That's right.
Yeah, I think the voice said that, right? These they're interpreted as Set.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay, so what is that? It's actually once you see it.
All right, so let's see here. So we have and not be, let's see, with a head, and does not have a head. Oh no, wait.
Or you could make it not having a head in English. It really becomes almost like a participle or an adjective kind of thing. Ich taneti iti yunen wen nem dis jaja. So this basically, yeah, I'll let you go on.
And the one, let's see. Yeah, I'm trying to make sense of the first part. So there's a question being asked to Jehuti. So the one which comes who does not have a head.
Pretty much.
Something like that.
It's like a nominal sentence again. Ich, what, is, you have to substitute the is in English, which we need, which they don't. So what is the one coming, not having a head with her, so to say. So what is that one coming without a head, basically, I think is what it means. What does everybody think? Did you have the same or something different?
Yeah, that's how I understood it.
Okay, cool. So yeah, it's just like a really, that's what I love about Egyptian in all its forms, what you can do in terms of like relative sentences, to just make all sorts of attributes and just glue them in very elegantly. In some other languages, that's very difficult to do, but Egyptian does it. The neti or enti and the eu, the circumstantial, are so versatile. You can basically take entire sentences and just glue them onto a noun or onto an article and make up something new. That's actually pretty cool about Egyptian. So yeah,
I like how Ray is A, not paying attention, and B, doesn't even recognize Isis.
I mean, you see that like omniscience with Egyptian gods, apparently not at all, right? That name is not made. They can change their forms and fool each other and be like utterly confused and forget what they said a moment ago. It's quite interesting. They're very human in that sense. Okay, very cool. I'm wondering if we should quickly look at the hieratic before it gets out of control.
I think we should not put ourselves in that position we did last time.
And the good thing is it gets easier. So Isis, nothing new here. Ker, Ire, huge R, tiny T. Geper, the way you would expect. Gepri, Geprise, and moi, and Repi, who knows? But that's basically double reed leaf, T and the egg again. And this, that was the whatever stone that is. Little knife on top, we've had that before. The little onach, the little stone underneath, we've had that before. Iu, nen, that's typical for the N already in like Middle Egyptian, just a dot and then an N. So like a dotted N, if you wish. Wenu, actually, it has a W there. MDs with her, or MDse, Jaja, and that's even ligatured over into the Aleph here, into the Aleph bird, Jaja. Then the head, Z1 stroke. Okay, nothing too exciting here. We've had all that before. Achaen, Pare, Charachti, nicely written Curtis in this case. Double bird on a stick. Herjed and Jehuti, that very common ligature of Jehuti, just the way how you write the name, the T on one side, the double strokes on the other. Always get that wrong. The Ich, yeah, it's there. Ich, again, the smaller version of the book roll that looks like a Z. And then Ta, we've had that before. Ligature of like a T on top, and then a very squished aleph bird. NT, also ligatured. This we've covered before, that the E really looks kind of funky. You have to know that that's a reed leaf. You can sort of see it, that that's a reed leaf, and then here's the normal stroke of the reed leaf, and then here's the leg that sticks out. I guess that's how this comes about. Aleph bird, double reed leaf. Yeah, nothing exciting here. The T we've had before, that's how you do it, like long stroke down, then the front end of the T, double reed leaf again, big W because we can, then, when, U, hey, we're getting good at this, M, MGC, Ja, Ja, oops, don't forget to bind over, he does it again, Ja, Ja, and then again the head, and that's it. Okay, I think we can maybe squish one more sentence in there. We have 9 minutes. Anybody want to give it a go?
I can take it.
All right, Evan.
Aha and Jehuti, Herjed and Pareharakti.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God, I lost my place. Oh, Pi. Wait.
Mm-hmm.
The 2 lines ending in Pareharakti. My eye went to the wrong one. Pi Neb Nefer.
Mm-hmm.
Iset were mute nature. Tai.
Mm-hmm.
You Rui Per Pa Pai Set. Sheri Jaja Set.
Perfect. All right.
So then Jehuti said to Preharakti, my lord, my good lord, Isis, the great God's mother, this is Isis, the great God's mother, and removed Horus, her son, her head, and Horus, her son, has removed her head.
That is perfect. Yep. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. What else can I say about it? By Nebnefer, my good lord, like you said, they still do that in Coptic. You say par choice, my lord, as a way how to address somebody, but you don't use the word neb anymore. You use choice, which, yeah, but the same idea. What else? What do you make out of Yurui Chor, verb form wise? Any idea?
Infinitive again?
Maybe, but if it were an infinitive, where would the subject go?
Yeah, I was going to say it sounds like almost like familiar, just like a circumstantial. So it looks like
It's a circumstantial in the beginning. You're right. But then
we have the subject. No, sorry, we got the verb.
Verb, subject.
Yeah, Heru is the subject, and then the object. He removed. Yeah, the head.
Her
being the Horus here. I'm sorry, I can't do a capital dot.
Right.
It just doesn't let me. But basically, here's the subject, and then comes the object. So basically, Rui, subject, object.
It's like a classic Sejam F form, I think it looks like.
You would think, but it's Late Egyptian. So in Late Egyptian, the Sejam F, there is a Sejam F, but it can only be 2 things.
Yeah. I think it comes past tense maybe.
Right. You got it. So there's two things it could be. One is the subjunctive, which doesn't make sense here. Would that he remove the head or something? Well, it's already happened. So it only leaves the past tense, which is the past tense sagem F, which is what this is. So, but the slap is circumstantial in front of it. I think that's what it is. Yeah. It's the great Isis basically, or it's Isis the Great. Her son having removed her head, I guess, something like that. With her son having removed her head, maybe. That's G. So I would say it's a past tense, like Chris said. Because I lost everything here. Where will we go? Il l'a pris dans ses bras. A little bit off here. Go on. Okay, so there's a nominal sentence again. Isetai, this is Isis. Yurui, yes, perfect. Hor, Aisheri, Jajasit. So that's really what it is. It's just a past tense. Okie doke. So what would be a Sejam F in earlier Egyptian?
So I guess like most of this has been in, I guess we call it narrative present. So it's first present, but it's telling a story that's happened. But they use present tense to make it more involved. But because the action has happened before what Thoth is saying here, is that why it's the past tense?
Maybe
because it's explaining how that statue got to have no head in the past relative to the narrative, maybe.
I think that's a really interesting point. You're right. I think it's more like a perfect kind of aspect here. Like this is what has happened. It's not a narrative, and then this, and then this.
The head's been removed. Yeah, it's all done with.
It's clearly gone, and
there's no ongoing action to this.
Well, at least not until in 2 weeks, right? Okay.
So the U Sejam NF of Middle Egyptian becomes just a plain old U Sejam F for late Egyptian.
Pretty much. I mean, there's like different things that happened there. I think like is the F is the N falling out phonetically and it's still the same verb form, or is there something else that is being used in the place of the old Sejam NF? I'm not sure if that's absolutely settled what really happened there. I have no knowledge. I've just seen that, for example, in the verse says that replaces the older form. But what does replace mean? Is that a phonetic change? Can we trace that through documents? I really don't know. Wish we had vowels. But yeah, it definitely is the successor. It's the successor of an older Sejam NF doing the same thing. Very cool. Are we really going to leave it with like one word on page 9?
We can finish it.
That's a really long sentence. Oh my God.
Well, why don't we look at the hieratic for the line we just did and then pick up on the last.
Agreed. Let's do that. So we're going to start
tantalizing last word.
Right.
Next time.
Okie doke. Well, let's see if there's anything special. Jehuti, Cher, Jed, and Pari Harachti. I mean, we've had all that. Quick look at the Harachti. Pari. So that is the simplified Horus, right? We've had that before. That looks a little bit unrecognizable. But yeah, that's what it is. Pari Harachti. Pai Nib. This A1 is really squished. Pai Nib. Not any nib, but a nib nefer. Hard to see because the papyrus is damaged. So then, and of course, he gets a divine bird on a stick too. He said, "Where and not wear it," as you would expect, but who needs a T? It's not pronounced anyways. With nature, nature. I mean, with nature. Tai.
This is Isis, the God's mother.
I mean, that's what it has to be, but do you see that?
Oh,
I mean, what should it look like? It should look this is what you would expect, Thai. Like the T and then the squished olive
Yeah.
bread.
I can see the Y, but I can the T is there.
yeah.
It's quite damaged there. Like a bunch of it's flaked off.
Yeah.
So it's kind of conjectural that it's there. What else should it be?
Yeah.
Use
But that's what we expect at the end of that kind of sentence, right? Like we've actually
Yeah.
covered that in the late Egyptian class.
Right. I mean, considering that he just asked who ich is this, then you would want to have blah 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 Thai. That makes perfect sense. So I guess we'll take it. Erui hor paiseri. Let's see if there's anything special. Sheri. Ooh, there's always the little W. And this beautiful determinative to finish it off. A little bad bird at the end. Ja, ja. And this time he doesn't ligature. Or maybe he got stuck on a fiber. Who knows? Hard to say. Because it almost looks like it comes back around here, but I'm missing that long stroke that would go this way. Although maybe it's there. I don't know. Hard to tell. The sign for dip. I mean, here it's just a determinative. And then sit. And we're done. Cool. Thanks so much, guys, as always. And see you either for Ramses next week or otherwise in 2 weeks.
All right.
Goodbye.
Thanks, everyone.
We're in 10 seconds in
Thank you.
Sumerian.
Or in 10 seconds in Sumerian. Yes, Lady Egyptians are late. See you
Bye.
then. Bye-bye.
Bye.